Bush League, here we are, 2019, otherwise known as the year of the Peppy kids. I have been asked to do the first weekly recap, making that a draft recap, so that's what we're going to do. I'm coming to you here live from a rental car in Minnesota before I head over to the airport. It is a Hyundai Elantra, of course, so I am in my element. I've got 3 takes from the draft, so let's jump right in. Take number 1, I thought that the spending was a little bit more conservative this year than maybe we have been in past years. I think there's been a trend towards that in the past couple years, but we really saw it this year. Only 8 players in the draft went for $30 or more, which I think is again pretty conservative for what we've seen in the past. Actually, 5 of our teams didn't even spend $30 on one player, including the Peppy kids. So we'll see how that more even distribution of the budget works out for some of those guys. When we talk about breaking down the positional payouts that we had, so the highest spending we saw on a quarterback was for Pat Mahomes, of course, $17. The highest running back was Christian McCaffrey for $44. There was a tie for the highest wide receivers, and that was Hopkins and Thomas at $31. And then Travis Kelce was closely behind as the highest tight end with $29. So definitely looks like we're valuing those running backs. And the quarterback spending was down, which is probably what everybody expected. So also, looks like we're learning how to do auction leagues more and more. I think our league's been doing it probably for longer than most. No one had really large unused budgets left at the end, so we've kind of figured that out. All right, take number 2. ESPN standings. So ESPN ranked who had the best draft. I think it's kind of bad rankings, but we'll see. So here's the winners by the division that ESPN said. So for the Bulldog division, ESPN says Soup won the best draft for that division. Big takeaway from Soup's team, I think. Will Zeke play, of course, and will Todd Gurley be a stud again this year? If those 2 things are yes, then his team is going to be very good and hard to beat. For the Warrior division, we had John. He was the winner according to ESPN. Big question for his team. I wrote down wide receivers equal who? So his number 1 wide receiver is Calvin Ridley, and his number 2 wide receiver right now, DK Metcalf. So he's relying on some sleepers there, beyond Calvin Ridley to get the job done at wide receiver. So for the Tommy Johnny division, Langer was the best drafter according to ESPN. I'd say a big question mark for his team. He drafted Duke Johnson. So can Duke be a bell cow back? He's in his flex, and with Lamar Miller gone, if that's the case, then that'll be a strong position for Langer. And then the Maverick team, Maverick League, Max Aponte won that according to ESPN. He's got a pretty balanced team, but will he get the payout that he spent on Christian McCaffrey as a true RB1? All right, last takeaway. Vikings fans, I'm talking to you. You have a difficult choice this season. Keep in mind that Viking success in 2019 equals Hartman success. Hartman has Dalvin, Stephon Diggs, and Kirk Cousins on his team. So, are you comfortable? Will you root for the hometown team knowing that that is also rooting for the evil empire? I know my answer. I suggest you make the right choice, but that decision is yours. So, good luck this season. Should be fun with new divisions. Be interesting to see how it plays out. Looking forward to week 1. Go Peppy kids.